You ever notice how peaceful the world feels right before it breaks? How your living room becomes this cozy little cocoon and your brain whispers, "Nothing bad happens today. Not on my watch." Yeah, that feeling is a lie. A comfy, warm, beautifully packaged lie baked by decades of routine. But routine dies faster than Wi-Fi in a storm, because all it takes is one glitch. One siren cutting out mid-scream. One power flicker that lasts a second too long. One neighbor sprinting to their car like they just saw tomorrow catch on fire. And suddenly, the world goes from normal to feral in the span of a skipped heartbeat. You'll get 1 hour, 60 minutes between, weird, and, oh, we're in the prologue of a tragedy. 1 hour before the herd loses its mind. 1 hour before the highways become fossilized metal. 1 hour before someone smashes a supermarket window with a shopping cart. 1 hour before the stores, the clinics, the gas stations, everything you assume would always exist collapses under the weight of fear. And that hour is where your story splits into two timelines. Timeline 1, you act like everyone else. You die like everyone else. Timeline 2, you understand the vacuum. You own the vacuum. Let's take the path where you live long enough to grow a wasteland beard. Everyone pretends survival is about muscles, gear, canned food, or some overpriced tactical backpack that's basically a hiking purse with extra pockets. Wrong. Survival is about predictability. Not yours. Theirs. See, the average human has 3 crisis reactions baked into their skull.
1. Run toward anything familiar. Childhood home, old vacation cabin, that one cousin's place with the good vibes. It's instinct, not strategy. 2. Fight over obvious supplies, food, water, medicine, ammo. The shiny loot mindset. 3. Follow the herd. Because if everyone else is doing it, it must be the right move. Spoiler, it isn't. Every one of these reactions creates empty zones, entire chunks of infrastructure abandoned simply because they're not immediately obvious to the panic brain. That emptiness is the closest thing you will ever get to a superpower. Because the world's collapsing, but the buildings aren't. The strongest, safest, best engineered structures in your city don't vanish during a disaster. People just forget they exist. And that is where you build your kingdom. So let's take a slow walk through the 5 ghost buildings that transform into fortresses the moment the herd stampedes. Not fantasy bunkers, not military bases, not prepper compounds made of shipping containers and hopeless marriage problems. Real buildings, ordinary buildings. The ones the herd will literally sprint past without looking. Welcome to your empire. Look at a self-storage tower through normal eyes, and you'll see a warehouse full of dusty heartbreak, broken furniture, forgotten trophies, Halloween decorations from 1998. Look at it through collapse eyes, and you'll see a concrete labyrinth engineered by accident to be the perfect defensive stronghold. Narrow hallways equal choke points. Steel doors equal layered defenses. Climate control equal stealth habitat. Minimal staff equal instant abandonment.
Looters won't hit these places. Why loot a box full of grandma's winter sweaters when you can smash the pharmacy next door? Inside, you have floors stacked vertically like defensive levels. Multiple fallback units you can retreat to. Heavy doors that take time, noise, and effort to breach. A high ground advantage in a concrete box. Electrical lines ready for generator hookup. Zero visibility from the outside. You're not hiding in a building. You're dissolving into its geometry. Up top, you control stairwells, sight lines, and sound. Down below, the world screams and bleeds. But you're just listening, waiting, choosing when to move. That's not luck. That's architecture weaponized. Imagine watching looters storm a brewery looking for booze while you stroll past them like a bored demigod, because they see alcohol. You see food, water, medical supplies, energy, trade goods. Breweries are survival factories in hipster camouflage. Tons of grain, calories for months, industrial water filtration, your hydration throne, stainless steel tanks, ballistic protection plus water storage, yeast cultures, chemistry that regenerates itself, kitchens already wired for high output, concrete floors that don't burn or flood easily. Grain becomes meals. Fermentation becomes medicine. Distillation becomes disinfectant and currency.
You're not scavenging, you're producing. And in a dead world, production is power. Anyone can loot, few can sustain. That's the difference between starving with a pantry full of stolen cans and thriving with a system that constantly replenishes itself. These buildings are the eyes of civilization. And when the grid falls, the first thing most people lose is awareness. Everyone goes blind at once, except you. Up in the science tower, you get a 360-degree view of the city, weather intel before storms hit, line-of-sight tracking of movement miles away, rooftop equipment built for precision, backup batteries and solar arrays, thick steel and concrete skeletons, and a natural command center nobody else wants. While the city spirals into chaos, you're perched above it with binoculars, radios, sensors, and power systems made for 24/7 uptime. You become the wasteland oracle, the one who sees the shape of danger before danger sees you. You see fire plumes before the smoke reaches street level. You hear radio chatter others don't know exists. You monitor the flow of traffic, survivors, raiders, and weather patterns like a general studying a battlefield map. Vision is survival. Elevation is dominance. And information is the currency of the new world. Most people think survival is about stockpiling. Wrong. Survival is about the ability to build and repair. These workshops are temples of metal and electricity. Industrial welders, sheet metal brakes, pipe benders, copper coils, motors, fans, compressors, pressure tanks, refrigerant cylinders, wiring in every gauge, manuals, schematics, and tools worth more than gold. This place doesn't just help you survive, it lets you evolve. You can repair gear, reinforce shelters, build water systems, create armor, fix generators, fabricate tools, convert motors into power sources, build pressurized air systems, use scrap to innovate. Everyone else is living off scraps. You're building industry. You're not a survivor, you're a post-collapse engineer. And trust me, engineers become kings when the lights go out. Every city has them. Nobody notices them. Nobody cares about them. Nobody loots them, which is exactly why they're perfect. These vaults aren't made for cash. They're made to protect documents that cannot burn, cannot flood, cannot be destroyed without millions in legal consequences, so they built them like bunkers. Reinforced concrete boxes, fire-rated steel doors, multi-point locking systems, climate-controlled sealed chambers, gas-resistant gaskets, minimal visibility, and hidden deep inside office buildings. Looters will walk past the building without a glance. It doesn't trigger the survival instinct. But inside, you have a bunker within a bunker. This is where you stash backup supplies, medical gear, radios, food reserves, tools, maps, documentation, precious trade goods, anything you cannot afford to lose. This is your last resort fallback, where you go when the world outside becomes uninhabitable.
If someone tries to breach the vault, you'll hear them long before they get through. If the building around you collapses, the vault stays intact. If smoke fills the offices, the vault seals shut. It's not a room. It's a guarantee. Most survivors panic. Some hide. Fewer plan. but almost none build a network. That's what you're doing. Storage tower, defense, brewery, production, science tower, intelligence, HVAC shop, infrastructure, document vault, security. This is not a shelter system. It's a civilization skeleton. You can operate from multiple locations. You can move based on threat level. You can spread resources. You can rotate personnel. You can build redundancies. Everyone else is trying to survive in one spot. You're building something that can last, and lasting is the only metric that matters. Eventually, others will notice you. They'll see your lights, your smoke, your movement, your success. Some will want to trade. Some will want to join. Some will want to steal. You cannot escape that reality. But with this network, you get the one thing panic never gives people: choice. You choose when to stand your ground. You choose when to relocate. You choose who to trust. You choose who to bury. That's survival. Not luck, not fantasy. Choice. Look around you. Your walls, your lights, your furniture, they feel solid now. They won't always. And when the moment hits, the herd will run toward the nearest illusion of safety. But you're smarter than that. You see past the illusions. You see the vacuum. So answer the only question that matters. Are you going to scroll past this like the herd, or map your city like the heir to the wasteland throne? Because when the collapse hits, and it will hit, the world won't reward the fastest runner. It will reward the one person who understood the truth. When the herd stampedes, the emptiness belongs to the one who claims it.